Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to day 24 of our 31 days parenting challenge. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Are you here? Please let me see you. So, thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so if you're here, I want to see your comments. I want to see you, please. I want to see you. I want to be sure that you can hear me, please. I want to be sure that you can hear me. Please confirm that you can hear me. Okay. Okay. All right, so please confirm that you can hear me. So yesterday we had a session on bullying. Today we are going to be talking about, yesterday we talked about, is your child being bullied? Is a child a victim of bullying? So today we'll be focused on something else, right? Is your child a bully? Is your child a bully? Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, please? Is your child a bully? That is what we want to talk about today. Is your child a bully? Do you know? Okay, thank you so much. Do you know if your child is a bully? Now, it's not enough to just stop at knowing if your child is a victim of bullying, right? It is very important to know if your child is a bully themselves. It is equally important. It is equally important to know if your child is the one causing the distress, to know if your child is the one causing the trouble. So, what if it is your child? You know, as much as no parent wants to have to want that to happen, right? As much as we don't want such a thing to happen with our children, as much as we don't want to have that experience of having a bully child, it is very important to know it. So that is what we want to talk about today. It is not just important, it is our obligation to know as parents. It is our obligation to know if they are bullies. When I think about bullying, I think about the pain in the voice of the parents of victims. I think about how they feel, especially going back again to watch some of those old videos, looking at how they feel. It's just something that we cannot even imagine. It's something that we do not wish for our enemies. It's something that we do not wish for anybody. All right. So that is what we want to talk about today. Now, on the other end, on the other hand, you don't wish anyone, or you don't wish your child to be a bully. You don't wish anyone to have a child that is a bully, because having a child that is a bully means having someone that is aggressive, having someone that is ready to intimidate another person, ready to inflict pain and harm. Just the thought of it is something else, right? So I want to show you. So tonight, just so we recall and try to understand the intensity of what we're talking about, I want to show you a video, right? Just quickly.
He was in his room in the evening. His friends were sitting on their bed. They were gisting. Then these boys walked in. 5 of them walked in into the room. And when they walked in, he said they were the senior students. Then he has not mentioned their name. When they walked in, one of them went back and put up the light. But they were holding belt. They started beating him. They flogged him. He fell off from his bed and they started marching him. Marching him. All of them. They started marching. They bullied him.
You don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. You don't. You don't.
We have got our relationship. And he died.
Boy's name. Boy's name. Look, water. Left, right.
This is Dr. Red.
Left, right. What's the boy's name? What's the boy's name?
Wallahi I was going to talk English.
What's the boy's name?
Kawai ki faɗa.
Don Tira.
Can't you speak?
Just
Who broke my heart? Who broke my heart? Who broke my heart? What do I do later? Who broke my heart? Who broke my heart? Who broke my heart?
I don't know how you felt seeing some of these things. This is just a little, I think this is just a little of what actually goes on out there, right? The fact that if you watch this last one, the fact that a girl will slap her that was her classmate, right, for whatever reason. And if you watch the previous one, how they were using their belt to flog a boy, that was just a bit, just a snippet of that video, right? That video was about, I think, 2 minutes long. So they beat him and beat him mercilessly. So this is something that, in fact, when it comes to bullying, right? Even the bystander, you see all those people that gathered around, that were just watching, or were just trying to say something. They were you would term them bullies too. You would term them bullies too, right? You see the bystander, the other boy from the other school that were just sitting down and laughing and just smiling. You would term them bullies too, because if it's your child that is there in the position and is just smiling and not showing empathy, it means that that person is also capable of bullying. Bullying is not something that we should take lightly as parents. The fact that a child, a teenager, in fact, we're not excusing the adults, but let's leave them aside. But the fact that a child or a teenager will be bold enough to want to hurt another person, will be bold enough to want to inflict pain on someone else, is something that is of urgency. It is an urgency. It's something that you know that you need to work on and help that child. That child actually needs help. The person, that teenager, needs help. Okay, so why do you need to know if your child is a bully? For their well-being. As parents, we do not want to be on the other side. All right, we don't want the situation. I watched the story or the interview of the fathers of one of the victims. I think I posted one today. I watched another one where the man was crying bitterly. You don't want a situation where it is your child that inflicted pain on not just a child, but the whole family. All right? You don't want that kind of situation. Okay, so you want for their own well. It could be a sign of underlying issues. It could be a sign that your child needs attention. It could be a sign that your child needs anger management. Recently, in my teens and kids club, we're talking about emotional intelligence, controlling our emotion, and anger management and conflict resolution is one major aspect we're looking at, because every child needs it. Everybody needs it, and it's better that we start teaching them from this age. Yes, it is best that they start learning from now. Every child needs it. It could be a sign that that child is having emotional distress and wants your attention. It could be a sign to help you prevent future consequences. See, forget whatever is happening with the with the legal system, right? I watched a video recently. I even posted it. I think some person saw it, where two parents were arrested because of what their child did. Their child killed about 4%. Yes, bullying. He killed 4%. They arrested the boy and they arrested his parents. So nobody wants to be in that situation. We do not want to be in that situation. And if you don't want to be in that situation as a parent, you have to pay attention for their safety, for their health, and for the safety of others. Those persons that lost their lives. The first video I posted was a video of a father who lost his son. For the safety of others, that boy lost his life because of beating. They stepped on him, they were hitting him and doing all sorts of things for him. So to prevent some of these things, we need to sit up as parents when it comes to bullying. Bullying is one area where we just talk about it. Oh, don't bully, don't bully. But we don't actually take our time to teach, to educate, to enlighten, to create awareness. We do not take our time to do it. So it's not enough to just sit back and just complain about it. What are you doing about it as a parent? What are you doing about it as a teacher? What are you doing about it as a school owner? What are you doing about it as just as a boy, as a girl, as a man, as a woman? Because everyone needs to put their hands on deck. So what are the signs that your child may be a bully? The behavioral signs like aggressiveness. When it comes to bullies, they are aggressive. They are ready. Remember yesterday we talked about bullies being intentionally ready to intimidate, ready to inflict pain, ready to cause fear, just to make sure that you are afraid of them. They are ready to do whatever. So they are aggressive. They always come with aggression, whether to their peers. Is your child aggressive? Even to their siblings? Is your child aggressive to friends? You have to learn to observe interactions. Observe the interactions of your child. That is how you get to know if they are aggressive. That is how you get to know if they need help. Because sometimes your child might be aggressive even to you, the parents. So does the child need help? You need to pay attention. Empathy is a vital skill that supports emotional intelligence, right? We need to know if our children have empathy, because one of the signs that your child is a bully is that they lack empathy. Empathy is one thing that everybody should have. Some children are just so mean. Recently, I saw a post of a mother that was complaining that her special need child who have been away from school because of bullying, because his friends are mean. He stayed away from school for a long time, right? And then he went back to school, and the same day they started bullying him again. They started saying all sorts of mean words to him, insulting him. Some children can be so mean. So as a parent, if your child is mean, you need to do something about it. What are you doing about your mean child? From the things they say to others, you will know if they are actually mean. Children that enjoy inflicting pain and distress on others is something worth working on with urgency. Okay, so you need to teach them. How do you teach them to be empathetic? Teach them to label their emotions. I remember that was the first thing I taught in the teens and kids club, how to label their emotions. Teach them to understand emotional contexts, all right, to understand the feelings of others, to put themselves in the shoes of others. That is understanding why someone might feel different from them, why someone may feel like crying and they don't feel like. It doesn't invalidate the other person's feeling. That is what our children need to learn. That is what they need to learn. All right? The fact that they say things and others can be hurt, they need to learn it. So, what is your child empathetic? Is your child mean? Is your child mean? Some children, like I said, are wicked and mean. So you need to do this. All right. And next thing, you need to model empathy. How do you model empathy as a parent? Every little thing you are insulting, you're cursing, you're hitting, let the children also know that there are some times that you have to show that you really feel what this person is feeling, or you're really there for the person. That is modeling empathy. There are times that you have to apply discipline, but there are so many other times that you have to use some of the misbehaviors of your children as a teachable moment to teach them empathy. Sometimes things are going on, they fall down or they hit themselves or they injure themselves. The first thing you should think of as a parent is not, why are you always jumping? Why is it? That should not be the first thing, right? You should try to show empathy. Oh, sorry. Okay. Then before you apply, you try to correct them. Okay. So shifting blame, if your child tries to shift blame over everything, they never take responsibility. That could be a sign of bullying in a child, right? If your child regularly breaks rules, every time the child wants to break rule, wants to disobey or wants to does not respect authority figures, you need to look into it. Is your child respectful? If they're not respectful, it will be a sign that if they cannot respect adults, it means that their mates will be nothing to them. All right? Children that do not show remorse over things, you're correcting them, but they just or sometimes there are some children that you will hit them or give them a slap or something, and they don't even feel it. So those children will be ready to hit other people, and they will not even feel how the impact of their hands or whatever it is they are trying to do to the other person. So these are the observations you need to make, especially when they are interacting with their friends, interacting with their siblings, right? Because some of these things begin from the home. A child that always wants to dominate, always wants to be in charge, it's not a bad thing, but is it affecting his friends? Is it inflicting pain on his friends or her friends? So this is what you need to know. Now, when it comes to such issues, there are different kinds of parents. The bullying is one major issue, right? But why is it that it is not being curbed? Why is it that it is still a major issue? Because so many parents are relaxed about it. Difference in family dynamics, right? There are the parents, right? To make sure that they are proactive, actively seeking ways to stop whatever issue going on with their children. Yes, there are parents that are so observant, are so engaged in the affairs of their children. I give it up to you, right? You that is always attentive, observant, I give it up to you. But there are these kids will always be kids kind of parents. These are this is one of the major issues. Kids will always be kids, and you know this little thing they did, they will snap out of it. But the problem with it is that this kind of parents, they will only realize when something has happened. When something bad has happened, that's when they realize, and it will take them a lot of time to even try to come to terms with the fact that their child is a bully. Please do not be that parent. Do not be that kid who always be kids kind of parent that will just laugh it on her. They're just playing. Don't worry, just a joke. Every little thing is important when it comes to children, right? Every single thing is important. Then we have the ostrich, or like what I call the ostrich parents, the overprotective ones. They will refuse to see the problem in whatever situation. Those are the parents that they will call from school and they'll say, don't worry, you'll be fine. It just the person will be fine. It's just children and everything. They, even if you confront them, they will never accept their fault in anything. They will, instead of that, they will scrutinize to see where the other child is wrong, where the victim is wrong. Please do not be that parent. Do not be that parent. Be that parent that takes correction whenever they bring a report and tries to find a way to see where their child is wrong and help them. That is the point to stop bullying. Actually, that is the beginning of the initial stage. All right. Now we have the chip off the old block parent, right? That parent is will never see the problem. That parent will not even be, they never believe that their children is the problem. Why? You know why? Because they themselves are that way. Those are the parents that are out there ready to fight. So please never be any of these parents. Never be any of these parents. What are you doing? How are you intervening? Now, if you find out that your child is a bully, you need to apply discipline. I don't know how many of you joined the discipline course a while ago. All right, that discipline course talked about all this. We don't have the time to talk about it. You need to take that child for counseling. You need psychological intervention. All right, I know we don't have time, but I'm going to show you a video very quickly. I'm going to show you a video very quickly, right?
My 9-year-old nephew, Andrew, attacks a little girl on the baseball field for no reason. And my sister-in-law calls me up and she's crying, and she said she went into his room that day and found 2 pictures he'd drawn. One of them, he's hanging from a tree. The other one, he's shooting other children. And 999 child psychiatrists out of 1,000 would have put him on medicine and put him in therapy. Because now 4 years I've been looking at the brain. We'd already correlated violence to the left temporal lobe. Left temporal lobe dysfunction often went with violence. I'm like, I want to see him. I'm like, buddy, what's going on? He said, Uncle Danny, I don't know. I'm mad all the time. I said, is anybody hurting you? He said, no. I said, is anybody teasing you? He said, no. And when I held his hand while we scanned him, when the scan came up on the computer screen, he had a cyst the size of a golf ball occupying the space of his left temporal lobe. It's the first time I've seen it. I've seen it 100 times since. And when the neurosurgeon drained it, his behavior completely went back to normal. It's easy to call someone bad. It's harder to ask why.
Okay, so I think for some extreme cases, some children may need to see the doctor. You may need to take them for tests and everything, especially when it is extreme. All right, because it's not every time that we will just blame them, especially when considering what we just watched now. So when the child is extremely mean and you've tried your best, please take that child to a child psychiatrist or a child psychologist to check them. All right, to check them. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bullying is a major concern. All right, bullying is a major concern. We don't have to wait. Please, let's all fight bullying. Bye, everyone. See you again tomorrow.